an insane stalker who is not only stalking him, but stalking his girlfriend, stalking his parents.
Stalked his whole life on the boardwalk.
She stalked his whole life on the boardwalk.
So you stalked my whole life on the boardwalk. It's my turn to talk. It's my turn to talk.
Yeah, where do you even start talking about Baby Reindeer? On the surface, it's a show about a struggling stand-up comedian who also works in a bar, and this woman comes in, and he kind of takes pity on her and kind of gives her attention, and then she starts stalking him. And that seems like the most interesting, and this is based on a true story, and there's more to that we'll get into, the kind of secret behind Baby Reindeer that not enough people are talking about. So it seems like the most interesting thing that would happen in this person's life is that they're stalked. It's not at all. It's not at all the most interesting thing that happens to him. This is the true life story of a comedian who was stalked, also experienced some heavy SA, and then him struggling with his own sexuality after that. You're getting a lot of his internal monologue. You see him kind of dealing with feeling bad about himself, feeling like he's kind of a piece of shit, and then seeing a lot of why. But the real twist of the show doesn't happen in the show. You might go like, who's this the true story of? Which comedian is this? It is Anthony Gadd, the actor who plays the main character in the show. Richard Gadd, I'm sorry, not Anthony Gadd. His name's Richard Gadd. He plays Donnie Dunn in the show. This is his real life story. He wrote it. He performs in it.
In the beginning, you really think it's a show about her. What is her diagnosis? What is her mental trauma? Right. You're thinking we're going to explore what happened with her life. But she's like the very last thing on a long list of things that are going on in this man's life.
Yeah.
And it's all about his trauma and what he went through. And to find out that it's a real story about his life is insane. The fact that you can go to and watch the stand-up that he did, that is also on the show, is just crazy to me. And it's just so well written. The acting is phenomenal, which makes sense because he's
playing himself. There's some creative choices that he makes in the way he tells the story. For instance, he has this big meltdown at the Edinburgh Comedy Festival that in real life was not like an on-the-spot meltdown. It was, he intentionally told his story. To show him as an early starting comedian at his most cringy, like his first performances when he's trying to work out jokes and everything, to show that on the show and play it, but have it be actual jokes that you wrote in your first like stand-up appearance, and to play videos like that are one-to-one exactly how it went in real life.
You're looking at me and you're thinking, well, hasn't Venus Williams let herself go?
I know what you're thinking. Venus Williams has let herself go.
Is so brave on so many levels, like playing himself in the show, including filming some scenes that are really horrific.
Really brutal.
I mean, having to relive that, even in an acting sense, I'm sure was incredibly hard. I read a little bit of how they shot it, and they said so many people on set were crying when they were doing it. It was hard to even get the cameramen to hold the cameras steady.
I don't know much about SA. I don't know how it feels to be to be a victim, and it's kind of hard to like put yourself in that mind. And I don't think anyone can ever do so unless they are one. But I think this is the closest that I will ever get to understanding because of how well it was portrayed.
It kind of shows that it's not so black and white of like, oh, this person hurt you, so then you take clear actions. It shows like how it's a much more organic thing, how it's much more messy and integrated with your life, and how hard it is to kind of pull those things apart. From a creative standpoint, I think it's got to be one of like the most real, honest things ever made, right? Like from a creative standpoint, I don't know what else comes close to this.
Guys, all that to say, there's still an underlying aspect to this of a woman who is legit.
Right. We're not even talking about the stalker. That's the other thing, is he's dealing with a really horrible situation, which is being really stalked. I mean,
even the little things like the text messages that are coming through from her, which are like 200 a day emails first of coming from her with little spelling errors, and she's adding like sent from
iPhone. I know.
All this craziness.
41,071 emails, 350 hours of voicemail, 744 tweets, 46 Facebook messages, 4 fake Facebook accounts, 106 pages of letters, and 1 cup of tea.
Isn't it crazy that even talking about this, we're not even talking about the stalking aspect, which is the hook of the show. It's the thing that brings you in. but it's not even the most interesting thing that happens.
Yeah, that the whole time he's dealing with all this stuff and this trauma and his past, and he's in a relationship with a transgender woman, and dealing with like what he feels is guilt, like not guilt, but what he feels is shame for it.
Yeah,
all that stuff. That is all amplified by an insane stalker who is not only stalking him, but stalking his girlfriend, stalking his parents.
Yeah. Stalked his whole life on the boardwalk.
She stalked his whole life on the boardwalk.
If you weren't such a stalker, I would have called you when I got home. Instead,
he's dealing with that, and then
Yeah.
he's having these mixed feelings about her, where he feels sorry for her, but he's also at some point feeling attracted to her, and also feeling like he needs her because she's validating his existence. It's
Yeah.
insane.
Like it's a funny show. It's also very dark and sad. It's also very uplifting in some parts. It's everything. It's Baby Reindeer. Watch it with the knowledge that it deals with some very heavy subject matter, and be prepared to maybe experience some trauma just watching it.
Baby Reindeer will be submitted for consideration to be nominated for Best Limited Series at the Emmys,
Congratulations.
and Richard Gadd will also be considered for Best Actor and Best Writing. Go watch it.
Go watch it. Go watch Baby Reindeer. Be prepared to deal with some heavy stuff, but like also to come out of it a better person. I think. I felt more well-rounded coming out of it. I felt like I had a more honest perception of the world after seeing this guy tell his story.